Hello one and all, this is Hybridsteel. Thank you very much for joining me in today's Valheim video. Okay, so we're up to the swamp now, and this is the biome guide. We've done the Black Forest, we've done the meadow, and now we get to come to the place I'm not a big fan of. The reason why is just because it's dark, it's hard, it's not great. It's one of those places, yes, it's full of materials you're going to use. My god, is it a pain in the arse. But for me personally, the swamp isn't my favourite place in the world. But we'll go into it now, we'll have a just check around. Okay, so the first thing you want to start looking for is ancient trees. Now the reason why you want an ancient tree is because, well, it comes with ancient bark. Now ancient bark is a way of upgrading your materials and going through to the next stage of creation. So make sure you always pick up bits and pieces. So here we go, we've got wood, and ancient bark. Ancient bark is something you need so you can build a little bit of pieces here and there so you can upgrade. It's all good, that's what you're here for. Now you're here for the main reason for coming here. The reason why you want to come here in the first place is iron. Now iron is a big thing for this game. Iron is a way of basically just upgrading everything. The downside to iron is, well, you can't teleport it back. Now, much like every other ore in this game, teleporting back is not easy. When you're exploring through a sunken tomb, I mean, it's grey and dingy unless you get some like lights. Okay, always bring 2 pickaxes with you. Getting through all this stuff does take a little bit of time. Durability on pickaxes dies very quickly because these scrap piles are really hard. Now you will find chests. Normally got arrows and ancient bark in them as well. With my scrap piles, you're looking for iron. The one main element that you're looking for when you come down to a place like this is scrap iron. Now the swamps are not exactly the most nicest of places, and the other problem that you've got is if you built your base as far away as I did from a normal swamp, it's a pain in the bum to do the travelling. You cannot teleport through this stuff either, so the downside is that you are going to be stuck transporting stuff backwards and forwards for a long time. There are 2 ways around this that you can do. Number 1, bring some friends, and what you do is you bring some friends with you and you set up a shipping line. So you get your friends to like pick up as much as they can and see if they can carry more, put stuff in the boat as well, and then you have to ship it back to your home. Takes a long time. The other way you can do it is to start a new game, right? Find a swamp biome and then save it, right? Okay, and then what you do is you take your character, you go to the swamp, you empty out the tombs, and then you run all the way. You basically save the game, go into your normal game, and you should be at your home. So you have to have your one save game at your home, and then your other save game in a swamp, and then you just transport from save to save, which you can do in this, which is a really good way to do it. Another way you could do it is cheat. Now that's the way I did this. In fairness, I wasn't prepared to keep going backwards and forwards with a boat to go and do this. So what I did, and I know people are going to hate me for this, but it's the way I did it because I played this game on my own, so I had to find another way of doing it. And literally what I did was I went through a tomb, emptied out all the muddy sections like I have done with this, and I basically picked up a load of iron, and then from there because I loaded up the amount I could carry, so I had loads of iron on me. And so apart from that, yeah, you're looking at about coming down into these tombs to pick up iron. This is the only place you can find iron, as I found, and in all honesty, these dungeons are they can get difficult depending on how many Draug come at you. Speaking of Draug, let's talk about the enemies of this game, shall we? Alright, so as you can see over here, there is a fire geyser, or geyser, depending on where you come from, your pronunciation, and so on and so forth. And these basically spawn the Surtling. Now, if you've already thought that you've already heard of Surtling, you've heard of the Surtling cube, which is the thing used to power your forges. These are the Surtling. They're basically demonoids, so they will come at you, they will kill you, and you can't get rid of this. I've tried to get rid of the actual geyser itself. These are constantly spawning, so unfortunately you can't get rid of them. They do keep coming back in their infinite, basically, so that's the joy. Okay, so this is a Draugar. This is a Draugar or Draugar, depending on, again, pronunciation. This is an archer Draugar, so he's going to be firing from a long distance, and this is your bog standard normal one that's going to come at you and try hacking you to death. These guys normally go down with a little bit more of a... I mean, you can punch them if you really want, but you'll probably die. You can club them, which really does hurt. Or you stick them with the sharp end and pop them, basically. Okay, and this bad boy here, even though he's only got one arm, this is a Draugar Elite. A little bit harder to kill. You know, you can tell the difference by the purple eye and only having one arm. But they will take a bit more punishment to kill. So if you're spawning off the body pile, again, they do take a little bit more time to kill. So just watch out for that. The only reason why I'm making it look easy is because, one, I'm using on stealth mode, so they can't kill me. The only enemy I can't really show you, and that's because they're really hard to find, in fairness. I've only killed 2 of them in the whole of the swampland, is a Wraith. So Wraiths, they usually highlight purple, usually just floating around, and you'll see them floating. They'll come at you. They are a bit nasty. You have to watch out though. Another thing I didn't touch upon actually is inside the tombs. When you're going through the tomb, you're here for iron, yes, but you need to find chain as well. Now chain only spawns 1 from the Wraiths and 2 from the Eclipse. So when you find chain, you can make the bellows and stuff for your forge. So try and find one of those. It took me, as I said, I went through 4 or 5 tombs to find that one thing. So yeah, chain is just one of those things. It's very elusive, but when you find it, it's all good. Again, you can chuck mods on for that and you can get more of it, or you can just have a few bits of chain and you can make what you need. The next thing that you can do, turnip seed. A turnip seed, as you saw, we picked it up from a yellow flower that's literally on the swamp. It's one of those places you can find it, so all good. And basically from the turnip seed you can grow a turnip. Now the turnip isn't edible in raw form. You do have to cook it. It means you can make turnip stew, and you need the cultivator to plant it. So that's in the Bronze Age. When you get to that point, you can build a cultivator. That means you can start growing trees, you can start growing crops. All good. Now the turnip is a way that you can tame boars, which basically just means instead of going off to kill them randomly through there, you know, and just going, yeah, I've killed another boar, you can actually start repopulating the boar population in your area, and you can have little pens and all this other stuff. So best thing to do, really, in fairness, grow a shed ton of them, get some boar going, and then you've got this infinite supply of meat and everything, because they do make little boars, and it's all good, isn't it? So you can always have extra food. You can always feed your friends, and in all honesty, it's good for the environment because you're keeping things going, and it's good for you because you get lots of leather scrap and all the other stuff that comes off of a boar. So all good. We've gone through the Draugar and we've gone through the skeleton. Now is the blobs. Now this is an oozy. An oozy is obviously it's a slightly bigger version of a blob. When you kill an oozy, it splits down into a blob. Alright, so you get 2 blobs for 1 oozy. Oh yay, oh yay. And then from here you pick up the ooze. So there we go, we picked up some ooze. Yay. We've already covered the thistle. We covered that in the other video. If you want to see the other video, it's in the top right hand corner. Now, and that basically links you to the black forest. So that's always a joy. The other item you're going to want from down here is the withered bone. Now, the withered bone is the way that you would spawn bone mass. Okay, so you do have to go through the tomb, or these sunken tombs, just to get the thing that you actually need for spawning bone mass. So have fun with that. Personally, I would, and this is just me talking, I would wait until you've fully upgraded all your equipment before you go up against bone mass, or have friends. If you don't have friends and you're a loner like me playing this, when I went through it all, playing this game is where these bosses aren't easy. Bone mass killed me a few times. I got frustrated trying to kill bone mass, and I'm going to be honest, it got to a point where I was just getting to a point, I almost started asking around for help, and the reason why is because I got to that sort of, oh, this is, you know, it wasn't healthy for me to carry on, let's put it that way. But I managed to carry on, I managed to get through it, but it wasn't easy, it wasn't fun. Genuinely, after I killed the Elder, everything started to get to a point where I was just angry. And yeah, bone mass was my first enemy. I decided that I just hated, like, the certain ways this game played. I love this game to bits. It is a fantastic game, but the bosses, they are not fun. Now, when you get further into this, you'll find this, and you have to do so much work just to get to that point. You have to put in the effort really into this game. So yeah, I'm glad that I used mods for that bit, because I knew it was coming. I watch other people's videos on this game, and when they said they couldn't teleport iron, I was like, right, okay, I'm going to find some mods. I'm going to use them, because I'll taxi myself there and back. That's fine. And that's how I'm putting these videos together. I'm putting the videos together using the mods I used for playing this game through when I got to these parts. The iron was one of those parts. It was like, no, I'm going to up my count weight. I can carry all this stuff back. I'll be okay. So I went through the swamp picking up as much iron as I could and using myself as a mule to get through it all. Because when you play it on your own, you either need friends to play this part, or you stick on a cheat and run it basically. For all those people out there who aren't going to use mods to do this on their own, kudos to you. You actually have my honest respect, because going backwards and forwards to your house just to get iron there and back, screw that for a laugh, basically. Another way you could do it, personally, I mean, you could, as I said, there is that cheaty way you could do it, where you basically have two games open, one's in the swamp and then one's at your home, and you can just backwards and forwards that sort of way. Or you could look into moving your house. You could move, I mean, as said, for me, I actually really liked being here. This was a really good place to be. I liked being on this house. I liked being here. It was central location, but the more I expanded out, and I had to go to the Elder, I had to go to Bone Mass, I had to do this, that and the other. I was like, okay, what I could have done, I could have planted myself like here, near the Black Forest, near the Med, near the Swamp, near all of this, and I would have been a little bit happier, because everything would have been closer to me. But there is no way that I would want to transport iron all the way from down here all the way back to my home, because, well, that would have just sucked. That's how I'm seeing it, and I'm real sorry that I have to say that, but it's how I see this. Personally, the trip was not worth my time, and that's why I used mods, so I could carry all that stuff back, so I didn't have to do it again. It's just I'm being completely honest with you. I used the mods to carry that much iron back to my base, and it's okay. But that's just me. That's what I was doing. That's who I am, and unfortunately that's just the way it is. So you have to put up with that. I'm sorry. But all in all, I mean, that's the swamp. It's not the greatest of places. It's really gloomy. It's not easy. Be prepared for a lot of like upgrading your equipment right into this section of the game, because you're going to need to now. When you go through to the plains and the mountain, you're going to need to really up your game. So I'll leave you at that. So thank you very much for joining me. This has been Hybridsteel. If you have liked this video, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe and notification button below for all of the updates, and I'll be back here with a brand new video, live stream, or whatever else I do on this channel. Until then, guys, I want to say thank you very much for kicking by. I'll see you all later. Peace out, have fun, and enjoy everything you guys do. And in fairness, if you have enjoyed this video, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Bye bye for now.